So with our lovely Miss S, I also wanted to practice a bit with some dog-centric play. So a lot of times, if our pups, and I'll just take her leash off so it's a little bit less in the way. She's like, hold on, lady, I really want to wrestle. So let's say, for example, your pup doesn't always have outlets that are dog-centric. They're probably going to try to find their own games, and it may not be the things you want them to hone in on. So a lot of times the benefit of doing some play that involves normal dog behavior like grabbing, biting, chasing, shaking, these behaviors are essential to kind of create an out for your puppy that is natural, but also that way you're taking these lovely natural dog behaviors and you're giving them an appropriate outlet. I know I've discussed this often with a few other pups that have come to doggy day school. But a lot of times play can also be such a great way to build comfort and confidence and resilience, while at the same time giving your dog an out that maybe when they're frustrated and don't know what to do, play could be a better option than getting overwhelmed or agitated or maybe sometimes even a little reactive. So the benefit of play is now Miss S could be, for example, noticing my little off in the distance. She's like drunken sailor. But then she could also practice going and grabbing for a toy and then having this be the appropriate outlet versus rushing or getting frustrated she can't get to something. So obviously this is not a tuggy toy. So you don't want to get in the habit of having your puppy yanking and pulling on it and then releasing it because it might slap you at the same time. So I tend to keep the lure low on the floor. So when she is running for it, she's not jumping up high off the ground and then landing funny. So I like to keep it low on the floor. She's like, watch these dance moves. So that way my puppy is, while they're, again, learning and practicing, they're not leaping into the air to follow the flirt pole lure, the toy at the end, and then landing funny. So remember, just like with anything new that they're trying, if she's not familiar with flirt poles, I'm not saying you have to go out and get anything you don't want. But again, the benefit of having something that she can go ahead and chase and grab and bite for is that this can take your natural doggy drives like prey drive and also just in general having fun and build it up into a moment where you could use this as redirection as well as another outlet. So this also will physically and mentally get your puppy a little tired, which is great. But we want to make sure that anytime we're playing games that have a lot of excitement, that we also practice calming or coming back from that. So what I mean by that is creating on-off switches. So like right now, I didn't go into saying anything before playing. We just went into it and see, does she enjoy it? Does she find the toy to be fun? Is she enjoying the game itself? So as my puppy gets more fluid with some of these skills, I'd want to practice telling her, are you ready? As my we're about to train or about to practice or about to play. And then you might have another slogan, so you're finished with the game. So you're finished training or you're finished practicing or you're finished doing some play. Because for some puppies, they don't always know when the game is over and they keep doing the check-ins or they keep offering behaviors and then they get frustrated not knowing why was it working one moment and not the next. So if your babe is at times getting agitated or a little bit flustered and they don't know when you actually want them to be all finished with the exercise, having an end game slogan can be very good. So with my guys, we might use finished because I use all done for my all done with my stay cue. So you guys will figure out what slogans or words make sense for your household and what you may have been trying to practice prior. So with our little Miss S right now, she's just been mostly just going and grabbing it, letting go. We have the creature come alive again, and then she chases it once more. I also will sometimes just have her move around while she's kind of trotting and grabbing for the toy. So the main goal is that she's not doing extreme, pivoting and twisting and landing funny. So I keep the toy low on the ground and do nice big swooshing motions. If your puppy does get into tugging, I do sometimes like to plop it on the ground, step on it. So as she's pulling and tugging, it's not going to be her letting go of the toy and then having it slap me or slap a part of my body. So keeping it low like this, she can still do some tugging, but now it's not going to go and ricochet and bonk off of, from her letting go onto me. So, but let's say we've been practicing doing some chasing and some grabbing and some releasing. This is where, again, notice how she's doing some tugs, but now when she lets go, it doesn't slap me, which is lovely. So this way she could be getting some nice energy out, but not be, for example, expending it too hard. We want to make sure the play is within her comfort range, abilities, and her age group. So ready? Sadie. Nice job. So I might throughout the play, it can still be out and about and hanging out, but I want to feed her for disengaging. So she might go grab a little drink of water, which is fine. Nice, she's doing a great job. So obviously throughout play, great to take little moments to hydrate. Great job, Sadie. Nice, so beautiful name recognition. So the benefit of play is you're also on purpose revving the engine and then practicing putting the brakes on. Remember that for a lot of puppies and adolescents or even some adult dogs, coming back from excitement or over exuberance or even sometimes anxiety and therefore sort of a scary moment, that can be hard for them to bounce back. So I find the benefit of play is you're trying to get the babes to get a little excited and come back from that. So view it almost like the car. You're practicing putting the brakes on, sometimes turning it to, like, let's say into a park position where the engine could still be running. And then other times we practice shutting it off and just hanging out. So if we kept going until we ran out of fuel, did we ever practice calming down, taking a break, or doing another skill other than just go, go, go? So even though play is very beneficial, we want to make sure that play is somewhat structured. So it's not just a free-for-all and then maybe you're getting bombarded at the same time by mistake, or that your puppy thinks the only way to expend energy is by going bananas like a Chuck E. Cheese and go, go, go until we crash and we have like a burnout moment. So we don't want to keep going until we crash into the wall. We want to practice, again, slowing down, checking in. So we might get a little sit if we can. If, again, your babe is unable to offer a skill, either one, they don't understand, two, the environment is too challenging or too overwhelming, or it could be their comfort range may not be there. So if those items are not part of the issue, then it could also be sometimes comfort range in the sense of their body might feel uncomfortable. So I always look to, could you offer a skill like a sit? And if they can, that might be also a little bit of a barometer into how they might be feeling comfort range. So I might go, are you ready? And then I might go get it. And now my toy comes alive again, and Miss S can sort of, I love how the food fell out of her jowls as if she was a little chipmunk waiting for later to eat those bad boys. And there they go again, see? She's like, chewing is for losers. You kind of swallow them or keep them in your pouch and your cheeks. So right here, toy is alive. We've lost our cheese again because we still haven't swallowed it. You got it, madam? And then from here, the toy is going to come alive and we can play once more. So we're just practicing that on-off switch of getting my little lady to disengage with either the environment or a distraction. Sometimes there'll be no distractions, which is great too. And you just build up that play is a really great way to hone in on you as the handler and build up this relationship where together we can have a good time and have fun. Because if it's always do this, do that because I said so, remember how much fun would that be for you if someone just said do it because I told you to? There's going to be moments where, of course, your puppies, for safety reasons, you're going to try to keep them from participating in certain things. But I would highly recommend, as opposed to saying no to things, is think, what would I rather have my puppy do? Because a lot of times, remember, no or startling out of behavior doesn't address why is my puppy maybe doing it, or it also doesn't teach your puppy what you'd rather have them do instead. So if your pup has no idea what you'd rather, she's been having the same cheese snack over and over right now. But let's say your pup doesn't know what you would prefer. Think, if my dog or my puppy is failing, what would I rather have them do instead? So think of replacing behavior you don't like with things you'd prefer. And that starts to make a lot more sense. Nice job, cuteness. A lot more sense to your dog and your puppies than constantly saying, no, stop that, or that's enough, and getting agitated. Because remember, your puppy may not realize you're mad as to what they're doing. They might start to think that you are agitated or scary at them. So I would highly recommend to always either ignore or redirect behavior or prevent it from happening by managing the environment. And that way your puppies can be more set up for success as they're maturing and going from adolescence into eventually adulthood. So right now, Miss S, I think, did a very nice job for her very first day. I know she's coming on Thursday and then next week, Tuesdays and Thursdays as well. Hopefully we'll get our little Miss Pepper in, who's a little bull mastiff puppy. But I know she wasn't feeling well, so she's taking today off, and then she might be coming back on Thursday, and we'll see how she does. If, again, she's not feeling well enough, we'll just, again, have the two beauties for the next session, and we'll go from there. Nice. Great job, cuteness. So, but obviously too, guys, check in if you're having questions or concerns. Definitely don't forget to review the materials I had sent along earlier for the puppy kindergarten programs. Remember, there's going to be a slew of videos that were available on some of those documents too, with some of the pattern games that we were discussing a little bit earlier for Miss S, and with some other skills that you guys might be having struggles with. But our lovely little Miss S did a very nice job for her very first day. So we'll give her a little breather and give her a little time to rest again.